Wow, those 5 seconds seem to go fast. All of a sudden it was 5 and we're recording just like that.
Boom.
Boom.
Just like that.
How are you, Teri? It's been a while.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Got over defeat of Jesse James days in Northfield, Minnesota, and that's always
deal.
a big party. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And you and I were talking a little bit. Everything went well, you said, right?
Yeah, it really did. And the really good news is the parade only lasted 2 hours instead of 3.5 or 4. So,
wow.
I don't
Less
know
units
if you've ever,
or what?
Yes, but that's a kind of a good thing because after a while it gets really long. But it's the Scottish bagpipes that go into the beer tent that I think are probably the most horrific for me, that my ears can't stand it. Now, I like hearing them out in the open where there's a lot of space for those instruments to do their thing. But boy, you put them in a confined space.
The acoustics, yeah. Wow. So, yeah, I can see
anyway, sorry, I apparently needed to vent. So, how are you, Mark Taylor?
Other therapy. I'm doing pretty good. Other than I was telling you earlier, I've been dealing with back issues, but we won't spend our podcast hashing on that. I don't think our listeners
All right. Well,
care.
hopefully that will go well.
Right. Right.
All right.
Well, let's get cracking. We you and I have not podcasted for about almost not quite 2 weeks. So let's start out
missed you. Now
I know
why.
me too. I missed you too. That's why you have to chat before we podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
So I wanted to bring up a comment to you, Teri. Let's start with this, and that is I've been noticing how lately, and it's always been bad on this soap, but more worse recently, and that is everyone walks into offices and houses on the Bold and Beautiful. Have you noticed that?
Yes. It's like, surprise. How do you not knock?
Right.
Do you not? Yes. I've noticed that as well. And everybody's sharing the same office.
Yeah.
What? Yeah,
for
I don't know.
Successful business, that's a little odd, isn't it?
That's a little odd. So I think, are you referring to Liam just being inside the Forrester mansion? That one was really weird. That was like, and he came down the stairs.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really
exactly. So that one threw me,
yeah.
And the other one was recently Brooke came over to the Forrester. She just walks in the house at the Forrester mansion. And then there was a couple other ones where I think Hope or Liam, they always kind of walk through. There's a side door on
at Brooke's place.
Brooke's place. And they just kind of walk in. All of a sudden you'll see the curtains part and they're walking into the
Yeah.
I'm like, does anybody knock?
They're not Minnesota nice.
No, we knock. My comment would be, and I'll leave it at this, but someday if somebody's going to get an eyeful, I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, let's move on. So
Okay.
Brooke continues her interference with Hope and Douglas. Further irritating this co-host.
And this one. Yeah. I'm really, I'm tired of that. Just shut up. Well, and they just keep forgetting Thomas is his dad.
Right.
Regardless.
And Brooke is terrible.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know.
So.
I'm over her.
I have one other comment about what the storyline, but I'm going to save it for later.
Yeah. Okay.
This was a good scene. So next, let's talk about at Forrester Creations recently here. Brooke rants at Taylor about respecting boundaries. Boy, I got a kick out of that, just to further discuss that storyline. And Taylor basically denies that she's trying to undo Ridge being her husband. That kind of thing, which,
well,
whatever.
Yeah, I don't think she would use Thomas to do that.
I don't either.
I think she would actually like to unravel it all on her own.
Right.
And maybe Yes, but I don't think she's not devious and would never use Thomas for that. However, Brooke would.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Taylor has more morals than Brooke by far, in my opinion.
Yes.
All right. So next, let's talk about Thomas and Steffy have been really working Ridge
Yeah.
about going back to Taylor, and this was I'll give my comment now, and that was
Okay.
I'm tired of they've really beat this dead horse. With Ridge just kind of standing there like, making faces and smiling. And, at some point here, don't they have to kind of take this one direction or the other?
They need to do something. And the one that's really irritated me the most, of course, is Steffi, because she gets all kind of bitchy, like really up on her high horse, which I don't like. Thomas today was definitely pushing it. He had some better points in terms of being with the Forrester family and that sort of thing. But it's getting old. And the stupid part is when you you continue to push somebody like that, they're going to do the opposite.
Right.
Or maybe that's just me.
Right. Yeah, I agree. It was kind of interesting today how Steffi made the comment about, to Rich, I thought, ooh. She said, Brooke has cheated on you with your dad, your brother, and kind of let's start listing them off. I'm like, ooh.
Well, she's right on that one.
She's right, yeah. So I thought that was interesting. Mm-hmm. All right, so I have a question for you, and maybe we can discuss it or hold it for predictions, but I want to get your thoughts on this, and that's that Thomas obviously is wanting more custodial, time, maybe even full custody with Douglas. Mm-hmm. Do you think, Teri, that is this a ploy by him? Is he getting obsessed or fascinated again with Hope? Do you think? Do you think that's where it's going?
I think yes, but I don't know if it's going to get to the point that it's that crazy again. I don't know. I guess that's the one thing, when he said that he was a one-woman man to Hope, I thought, uh-oh. That led me to believe that, oh, shoot. Because I'd really rather not see that again.
Me too. Yeah. I just think the writers are probably going to take it in that direction. Kind of seems like it to me, but
yeah,
we'll see.
And I have a question for you.
Yes.
Totally off. Why does Taylor always have fruit? Why is she always eating fruit? Today she was peeling a tangerine.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just
You're right. She does.
That.
That's true.
She's always
That's
got
true.
fruit.
Oh, well. I'll have to think on that one for a minute. I'm not real sure.
Okay.
I'm trying to come up with a good reason other than maybe she's a health nut.
Yeah, or maybe it just looks good and gives her something to do with her hands. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a good observation, though. You're right. You're right about that. All right, so now I've got a good one for you. And this is a little bit of something that I know is coming up. So if our listeners want to cover their ears, they can.
Okay.
But Nicki Newman, who's Victor's wife on The Young and the Restless.
Yes.
She made an announcement today, and I had read about this earlier, that she's based in Young and Restless is supposedly based, and you and I have talked about this, in Genoa City, Wisconsin, the big city with the skyscraper. Uh-huh. And anyway, she's announced today that she's going to Los Angeles to meet with Deacon Sharpe. And Deacon used to be, historically, Deacon was on The Young and the Restless at one time.
Oh, was he a bad guy or a good guy? He must have been a bad guy.
Bad guy. Yeah, bad guy. So, and because not Diane, but Sheila, has gone back and forth too. So,
Oh,
and that's
right.
that's the connection
Yes.
because Nicki is going to go to Los Angeles to talk to Deacon to see if she can get some dirt and or get him to come forward because he helped Diane Jenkins on The Young and the Restless to cross over.
Yes.
Fake her death years ago, and that was his connection on The Young and the Restless. So now Nikki's going out there, so she's going to show up, I think, on The Bold and Beautiful. Nikki is.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting because watching Sheila in that creepy mask, fawning all over Hayes and picking him up was oh man, that was making my skin crawl.
Creepy, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yes, major creep factor.
I thought so too.
Yeah,
So anyway, that's a little interesting tidbit that's going to be coming up.
definitely.
So the other thing, getting to that storyline, so Sheila puts on her, this is just in the last day or so, Sheila puts on her mask that you talked about, and I'm going to bring up the scene that you just mentioned.
Okay.
She goes over to Finn and Steffi's home, and while Finn's on the phone, Sheila sneaks in with her, like you said, with her creepy mask on, and she takes Hayes out of the crib, and she's kind of holding him, you know, that kind of thing. Well, when Finn ends the call, she has to sneak him, or puts him back into the crib, and she sneaks out the side door. And I thought maybe they're going to take this a little further, but Finn, you know, all of a sudden he picks up this stuffed animal that the baby
Yes.
had. And I thought maybe they were going to do it. Maybe they will. That's probably just the first of many signs that are going to be coming up about that. But
And the door was open. Did you notice that he noticed that? And
Yeah.
he kind of had that funny
yeah,
look on
that's
his
right.
face?
That's right.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Well,
that's why his
I
wheels
called
were
it
kind
before. She's going to
You
take
did.
that kid.
And I thought
I
thought your prediction was going to come true right there, Teri, because I thought she was going to take him right there. I thought Terry's
I did
nailed
too.
it.
But then again, she has to plan a little bit more before she does that.
Right.
Well, never mind.
Well,
She's not
and
that much of a
I would
planner.
guess the writers want to drag this out for a while longer.
Oh, yeah, that's
Before that, I think your prediction's
Yes.
accurate. I think it's still going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Anyway,
All right.
so interesting. All right,
Yes.
so I want to get your take on this. So the other thing that happened in the last day or so is Deacon stops home from work at his bar to check on Sheila. All of a sudden, he seems really sincere and empathetic around her.
Yeah.
And the two end up engaging in a passionate kiss, and I'm like, I mean, I
Was-
kind of suspected they were going to go there, but it was just kind of weird how that all came together.
Well, and did you see where her hand was?
Yeah,
Around his leg? Like, and whoa, you're all up in his business. Because,
yeah.
oh, okay.
Sheila doesn't mess around, Teri.
No, she does not. And Deacon is thinking with something different than his brain, because it's weird and it's disappointing because I thought Deacon would be better than that. But then again, when you look back at his character, he's not a good
Upstanding
guy.
individual.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No, I agree.
And then Hope will be crushed. Yeah.
And around and around we go. All right, let's move into predictions.
Okay. What do you got?
All right, here's what I got. I'm going to take my Nicki Newman conversation that we had here earlier about her joining the Bold and Beautiful and coming to Los Angeles
Okay.
from Genoa City, Wisconsin, and I'm going to say that Nicki is going to be the one to find Sheila is alive. She's going to catch her. She's going to walk into that apartment and catch her. And that's how Sheila's going to be discovered.
Wow. That's sudsy.
That would
That's
be a
gonna
good,
be good.
storyline, I think,
Yes.
if they would do that.
Oh, I hope they do. That'll be
Wouldn't
good.
that be good?
Yes.
And then I have one other one.
Yeah, go for it.
Spoiler alert again here, because I saw previews. In that, but I think it's going to happen in the next day or so. Ridge is going to go over to Brooke's place and find Brooke engaged in a hug with dollar bill, Spencer. And then he's going to be pissed, and that's going to be all it takes. And he's gonna go back to. Then he's going back to Taylor.
Oh, that's good. Oh, I love it. That's.
And I've been predicting this for a while. A dollar bill.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's going to happen.
And we kind of talked about that about maybe Lee, but we both also definitely figured, no, it's going to be Brooke.
Yeah.
Again. Yeah. Okay.
Because that would be a good way to turn to either to decide on which way is Ridge going, you know.
Oh, and it would be a great excuse for him. Then he could blame her instead of himself choosing, just making up his damn mind. Right. So, then I can just blame somebody else. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's not my fault.
Because he doesn't have exactly. Okay. I like that.
What you got, Teri?
Well, I have this, and I'm really hoping it doesn't happen, but Thomas is going to trip up. He's going to, and I don't know if it's going to be the obsession thing or if he is just going to let Hope know a little more clearly that he is in love with her and would like the whole family together, and Liam is going to see it, hear it. That's my prediction.
Ooh, I like that.
Then we'll see what happens. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I got.
What do you think? You got thoughts on that? Where that'll go?
Yes, I think that Liam will come after him, and they'll get into a big fight. Douglas will see it, and my thoughts are that Douglas will take his father's side and try to get Liam off of him and try to break him up, and then Douglas will get hurt. Ooh. Wow, that just came right out. Wow. I wasn't even thinking that till I just said it.
Sometimes that's how these things go. You're thinking about the storyline.
A lot of times it does.
Just see how it's going to go, yeah. Mm-hmm. So is somebody going through a glass table or over a cliff on this one, Teri?
Oh, they're going over the balcony. It's going to be the Forrester balcony. Maybe they'll go into the pool.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. You got any other thoughts?
I think that'll do it for now.
I'm curious, though. I'm just going to put this out there. If anybody wants to comment on our Facebook or YouTube page,
yes.
Our comments on the storylines. I'm curious what our listeners think.
I am too.
Yeah, about the whole Ridge Brooke, Ridge Taylor, that whole thing. I'm just curious.
Want to see? Yes.
Yeah. Who do they want to see? And are they? Do they have the feelings we do, or do they feel differently about it?
Yeah. All right. Oh, let's hear from you.
All right. Yeah. Right on, Teri. All right. Until we dish again.
We'll keep it sudsy.
And we're out.